Okay, so you're getting your financial house in order. And as you learned, money that you put into your 401k is often matched by your employer. Well, that's almost always some free money. You put money into your 401k, your employer matches it. That's great. Ron, student of mine, just started doing that. But then Ron came up to me with this very common question. What exactly am I investing in? You put the money into your 401k and it sits there. Now you have to choose investments. Depending on the plan that your firm has set up, you might have a small number of investments, 5, 10, something like that, or it might be self-directed where you can pick whatever you want. Ron's case, he has probably 15 or 20 investments from which he can pick. So he has his money, let's call it $10,000 for argument's sake, and then he can divide it up among these investments however he chooses. The question Ron had was, what are these investments? I don't know what these things are. Let's look at a screenshot of his plan, which Ron was kind enough to provide. We see JPMorgan US Equity Class 2. What on earth is that? Well, here's how you find out. So we went to Google and we just typed in JPMorgan US Equity Class 2. What comes up? Well, a 5-digit ticker. That tells us that it's a mutual fund, JUEZX. Okay, now we know what this actual asset is. It's a mutual fund with the ticker JUEZX. Okay, now what? What's in here? What does it do? Does it give us what we want? Let's dig in. Morningstar.com is a pretty good site. Again, it's a site that I use. It'll come up in your search towards the top. I think it's got a ton of information. Maybe it's the best, maybe it's not. I don't know. But let's look and see what Morningstar has to say about this. We go to the first thing and it says asset allocation. 98% of the money that this fund collects is invested in equities. Okay, so that tells us it's a stock fund. If you want exposure to stocks, this is giving you that. And 95% of all of its money is invested in US equities. Okay, now it is a US stock fund. Okay, now we have some idea what Ron can invest in if he checks this box. Let's look at the sector exposure. We can look at that and compare it to an index. Now I'm just doing a quick read here. I'm guessing the index is the S&P 500. That could be right, it could be wrong. I don't really know, but let's see. Here are the different sectors as they compare to this benchmark index, which we will try to find out later. Now, what I like to do is go and look at the holdings. These funds will list their top individual holdings. Well, what are they? Boom, Microsoft, Apple, Google, Amazon, United Health. These are all large US companies that you've certainly heard of. So what is this fund? This fund is a large cap US equity fund. CAP is short for capitalization, meaning the size of the company. These are big companies that are headquartered in the US. If Ron puts any money into the JUEZX, the JPMorgan US Equity Class 2, he should expect exposure to large US stocks. Apple, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, etc. Stay tuned for more where we look at some of Ron's other options for his 401k.